Hi everyone, welcome to Dr. Vicky Writes. I'm Vicky. Nobody actually calls me Dr. Vicky, but I do have a PhD. And in this video, I will be talking about how to select the appropriate methods of analysis that you're going to use for your dissertation or thesis project, PhD project, thesis project, PhD project. So this video will cover the 7th objective of the course, and you can find the course syllabus in the video description notes below. Before we dive in, I want you to think about what you might already know about selecting appropriate methods of analysis and about what you feel like you still need to learn or any worries or concerns that you have around this topic. And I recommend taking a few minutes to jot down the first things that come to mind. So from the papers that you looked at, so I'm assuming now that you've done your lit review. So from the papers that you looked at and wrote about during your lit review, find about 3 to 5 studies that are very similar to this type of study or studies that you want to do for your dissertation or thesis. Then get a piece of paper and make headings for each of those papers along the top. I am thinking in like terms of columns, like a piece of paper laid landscape with 3 to 5 columns. But you can lay it out however your brain will prefer. I'm a very linear thinker, I think, because I love lists. So then take each of those 3 to 5 papers and basically like you want to dissect its methods section, all of their methods sections. Under the paper's heading, make bullet points on the key steps that they took in their analysis, such as how and or where they got their data, the inclusion and exclusion criteria of their study participants. I guess I'm thinking in terms of like studies that involve people, just because that's usually what I do. But you could hopefully apply this to your study, even if it doesn't involve people. What variables they looked at, and then what specific analysis they did, such as is often the case with studies that like I'm familiar with, splitting their participants into 2 or more groups and then like comparing their characteristics using t-tests for continuous variables or chi-squared tests for categorical variables, and then like doing some form of like regression or survivor analysis and so forth. So note all that down for those 3 to 5 key papers that you've identified. I'm a quantitative researcher as opposed to a qualitative researcher, which I think I've mentioned before. So I don't have any experience either of reading the method section of qualitative papers, but hopefully you'll be able to apply what I've said to qualitative studies if required as well. So do that for all the papers that you've selected. And then at the end, look at like similarities across your bullet pointed lists. For example, did they all compare the characteristics of their groups using t-tests and chi-square tests? Did they all do some type of regression analysis? And then base what methods you want to employ on the methods most frequently used across all of your selected studies. I guess I'm also assuming that the only maybe exception would be like if you're doing a thesis where you're trying to actually come up with a new method. But I won't get into that. You can let me know in the comments if that is you, and then I'll think about it in more depth. So write up your analysis plan detailing those methods, and then what I would recommend doing after that is, once you've kind of got like a wee analysis plan summary written up, run it by your supervisor before you actually start doing anything, because you don't want to waste your time conducting an analysis that your supervisor is going to say, well, why did you do that? Because this is like the main chunk of your project. But like, that's another reason why you want a really supportive, helpful, encouraging, accessible supervisor, to be able to like quickly ask them, can you just run an eye over this list and tell me, is it okay or not? And if not, point me in the right direction. And that really covers the basics of selecting your appropriate methods of analysis. So if you have any questions about any of that, please put them in the comment section below, or if you'd prefer, you can email me at drvicky911@gmail.com. I also encourage you to think about the following questions and do the same. Comment or email me. Did I clarify anything for you? Did I address any worries or concerns that you had around this topic? Do you feel that you've learned anything new that will be of value to you? And how does what I've covered relate to your own personal situation? I aim to check and respond to comments every second weekday. And I might not be able to respond directly if you email me, but I'll definitely get around to reading it and responding in some form. So thanks for watching. See you next time.